Hi everyone, Dr. Amir here, and we are going to talk about a fascinating topic today. Dietary supplement and nutritional space is roughly a $180 billion industry. That means a lot of people, including probably you, are on some form of dietary supplements to improve your health and overall well-being. Well, today we're going to talk specifically about the supplements that are used to improve the quality of the skin as well as hopefully impact anti-aging of the skin, so stay tuned. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Amir Karam, board-certified facial plastic surgeon and founder and creator of KaramMD Skin. I specialize in facial rejuvenation, which basically means I help people look as young as they feel. And on today's episode of Skin School, we're gonna talk about skin dietary supplements, the things that could actually be worthwhile taking and why you should be taking them. But before we do, we're gonna first start to understand the differences between some important concepts. In number one, what is the difference between a vitamin and a supplement? Number two, when should you be taking these supplements as part of your overall strategy to improve your skin health and anti-aging? Number three, what supplements are essential and important to take and worth your time and money before you endeavor upon them? Next, what are these supplements actually trying to address on a physiological and structure and function level? This is something that you're going to find super fascinating when it comes to the overall physiology and anatomy of skin. Next, we're going to learn about how you can get started. What are the key factors that you need to know when making decisions about, for example, should you try to get these in your basic diet? Should you start taking them as part of supplements? The differences between a synthetic and a natural supplement, all of those things that are going to be important when you're sitting there trying to decide which one to use as part of your overall decision-making process to include these in your life. And then finally, I am going to give you a very simple, practical look at what my wife and I, Netta, use as part of our general approach with supplementation in our own quest to basically have youthful and beautiful skin, and how that fits in context of the bigger picture of skin anti-aging. All right, so without further ado, let's break it down. So what is the difference between a supplement and a vitamin? A vitamin is something that is absolutely essential to functional body workings, physiology. Basically, you need every one of the vitamins, every one of these things that are fundamental to basically living. Supplements, on the other hand, are not necessarily totally required, and they're not necessarily required in specific doses. And this is where supplementation differs from vitamin use, because vitamins you have to have in the complete way to basically get through functional. Supplements you're gonna do to sort of enhance function. A supplement can either be an amino acid, it could be a protein, it could be something that's derived from herbs, it can be derived from natural products. In addition, it can also be a vitamin, it can be a mineral. So supplements include every category of basic things that get into our body, whereas vitamins are very specific to function. And this is an important point to understand, because we're not talking about doing things that are necessary for our survival as we would be with vitamins, because if you're lacking a specific type of vitamin, you're not going to be able to have the cellular function that is necessary to run day operations, right? So this is the biggest point to understand. This is something you're doing in addition to basic nutritional support. For example, a supplement would be something like turmeric powder. You don't need it, but it has certain specific functions. It could be an omega-3 fatty acid. You don't necessarily need it exactly in that form to have normal cellular function, but it has specific benefits in addition to normal fatty acids that you get into your diet. Hydrolyzed collagen powders, right? These are things that were very common. That's not necessarily something that you need to take, but as a supplement, it has certain benefits, and we're gonna explore all those as we get deeper into this. So this is the question, why take supplements in the first place? You're basically trying to fill in a nutritional gap, right? Because you gotta remember, a lot of people just don't have diets that are that well thought out and that fundamentally sound in terms of covering all the different types of supplements that are important for your skin and anti-aging. Let's say hypothetically you're a vegetarian, or you are a strict carnivore, or you're a vegan. There's certain supplements that truly, and based on the dosages that are required, are just not found in either one of those type of food categories. And as a result, in order to get them to the concentrations and levels that are going to make an impact on your skin, you're going to probably end up needing to supplement them. So supplementation fills in nutritional gaps and also fills in voids that are missing depending on the type of diet or type of lifestyle that you're living. Busy lifestyles make it very difficult to include all these things on a regular basis. It's a lot easier to supplement in a certain way than it is to basically map out an entire week or month worth of food and make sure these things are included. So dietary supplementation is to support above and beyond what you can get in your normal dietary approach. Now, after we get done talking about these, and I'm going to talk about the foods that include these things, if you sit back and you're like, hey, I've got all this stuff in my diet, then really there's going to be no need to supplement. And another really important point about this is the concept of bioavailability. Not all foods or supplements can get the actual nutrient to the level in your body that would be bioactive or bioavailable to the point where it can actually impact the changes that we're looking for. So bioavailability is an important part of this entire story, and there's synergy between certain types of foods and supplements that actually make certain ones work more effectively. And this holistic approach is actually a very, very important part. So I want you to keep that in the back of your mind as we approach this. So another reason to take supplements is targeted nutritional support. And what that means is basically you're trying to get concentrations of specific supplements to a level that are going to actually have functional effects on your skin and improve skin health and anti-aging. Another reason is you're trying to create an anti-inflammatory environment or increase the amount of antioxidant in your body that you're actually improving and repairing the body's basic functions. Because you have to remember, part of aging and also part of just living is everything from a cellular level is going towards entropy. It means that everything is moving further away from newness. It's going towards basically chaos or breakdown, right? It's like when you have a house, it's around for a long time, every part of it starts to deteriorate and break down. Well, your body's going through the same function with aging, and creating an environment that is rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory through the use of supplementation. Therefore, you can actually increase the body's ability to repair itself and prevent some of those wear and tear effects that comes with natural aging. And then finally, there's the enhancing the skin function. And this is where supplementation can actually have a direct effect on hydrating the skin, fine lines and wrinkles, and just overall improving the appearance of the skin. And that is something that is going to be, sort of novel to think that you can actually take something by mouth that is going to have a direct effect on the way your skin looks. And there's some research to support this, which actually I found fascinating, and we're going to break that down a little bit as we get further into it. Before we launch into the specific supplements, I want to give you some perspective. This is not a necessity. This is not the most important thing you can do for yourself if you're trying to defy skin aging or improve or restore your skin aging. So where does it fit in? So basically, as we talked about before, and I want you to kind of see this in a holistic approach. So the most important aspect that is affecting skin aging is collagen breakdown, right? That's just, you've heard me talk about it in previous videos, but if you really boil it down to how is the skin aging, it's losing collagen, it's losing elastin. These are proteins that are basically in the skin, and as that skin starts to thin, as it's losing these important molecules, the skin starts to become lined with wrinkles, it becomes thinner and crepier, and therefore the skin looks older. So in the spectrum of things, you absolutely have to have sun protection is an important part because that degrades collagen very quickly. Natural aging degrades collagen. So skincare, as we've talked about in the past, is extremely important. Actives like retinols, vitamin C, niacinamide, all these things that are basically increasing the cellular production of collagen is paramount. That's an important step. Well-rounded diet, good lifestyle, so you're getting a well-rounded, clean, nutritional, and we've talked about this in the past. You're also decreasing your alcohol consumption, stress consumption, as well as things like sleep, as well as just all-around healthy living. These all fit into a holistic approach if you're serious about skin anti-aging. And supplementation is just a part of that story, right? And I'm not necessarily saying it's a must-have, but it definitely is sort of an additional booster on top of all the other great things that you're doing to live a healthy lifestyle and improve your overall skin and keep your skin looking young, which is at the end of the day what this is all about, which is what I think every one of us really want, is to be mindful and doing the right things for our skin. Everything that I'm about to discuss is either backed by scientific principles that are based on normal physiology that we understand, as well as there have been some dedicated studies that have shown that there's benefit to these. At the core of skin aging is collagen loss. But what is collagen? Collagen is a protein. Okay, it's a protein that your body makes. In the skin, the fibroblasts make collagen. Collagen begins to diminish as the years go on, starting around the mid-20s, and then starts to deplete in the skin as well as throughout the entire body. What is collagen made of? Collagen is made of amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. There's specific amino acids that are very important in collagen, and we've talked about some of these in the past, but it comes down to proline, glycine, and hydroxyproline. These are very important amino acids that are part of a lot of different diets, but getting them in higher concentrations when you are, for example, trying to stimulate or build collagen, it becomes extremely important that they are around, that your body can use them, your skin can use them to actually manufacture and build collagen. But in addition to that, it also needs other components. It needs certain minerals, it needs certain vitamins. All these things are going to be important. I'm going to talk about these in a moment, but I want to put collagen in the center of this because everything when it comes to these supplements that we're going to discuss have a role one way or the other in collagen synthesis, which is the building of collagen. And how do you build collagen? And this is what's really, really important, and I think we'll put everything into context here. So instead of thinking necessarily like a food is going to stimulate collagen, which it does not, what happens is something is going to stimulate collagen that you are doing actively. For example, those skincare products that I mentioned, retinol, vitamin C, niacinamide, basically all the things that we've put into the KaramMD trifecta, for example, are things that are going to stimulate collagen at the cellular level. They're the on switch to production of collagen at the fibroblasts. Now, when that happens, well, you need to have building blocks around to do that, right? So that's where having all the things that I'm about to mention in plenty, it's like if you're going to try to build a building, you have to have all the different building materials so that you can build this beautiful building. So these are part of the story when it comes to that. So it's kind of like the second area. What's the other way that you can stimulate or increase collagen production? The other way is by injuring your skin. And what injury, I don't want you taking it the wrong way, but it's basically things like microneedling, chemical peels, lasers that are basically causing your skin to say, oh, there is something that has disrupted the surface of the skin, and therefore I need to repair it, and it repairs it with collagen. So it's actually a very beautiful process if you think about it. On one end, we can work at the molecular cellular level by turning on the switch with these active skincare ingredients. On the other hand, we can manually override the system by injuring the skin and then faking something more traumatic happening and causing the skin to build some collagen in response. So those are our two mechanisms, and the supplementation and dietary story fits in with having the building materials to basically allow that entire process to go efficiently and as effectively as possible. The most popular and most discussed supplement that most of you probably have heard of and wondering whether or not it's worth using or not is hydrolyzed collagen peptides, right? So this is when you're saying, hey, if I take collagen orally, can it actually help and improve my skin? So here's the interesting story with the hydrolyzed collagen peptides. Generally, then when I went through med school, etc., and when I learned about how proteins are broken down and diet and the physiology of the gut and all that stuff, what happens is you eat say for example, a piece of chicken or some type of that's packed with protein. It goes through you, and then it gets broken down in your gut into amino acids, and then it's taken up into your bloodstream. So if that was the case, then taking a portion of the collagen chain and ingesting it as you would in these, for example, in hydrolyzed collagen, how is it going from your gut broken down into amino acids to somehow finding its way into your skin to improve the health and quality of the skin? So I always considered it kind of like, well, maybe it's just because you're getting all of these very rich sources of glycine and proline and hydroxyproline, and maybe that's just taking it to get a lot of these important amino acids. But there's been studies that have been done that it actually has a direct impact on fine lines and wrinkles, skin hydration, and just the overall look and feel of the skin. So even though I don't think any of us really understand why ingesting collagen would actually improve collagen production, and I don't know if that link has ever been made, but we do know that it does have a positive impact on skin. So Having said that, I consider it worth taking. The most common scenario is you see the powdered collagen peptides that are sold in health food stores, etc. That's a very convenient way to get it. What are some food sources? Some common and very rich sources are, for example, bone broth. Take bones and break it down, and basically the idea is that things that are rich in sources of collagen, if you ingest it, you're gonna get that same effect nutritionally and dietarily. So bone broth is a big one, and specifically bovine or cow-derived collagen sources are very, very important. Like, that's just more rich in terms of giving you the collagen that you would need. Additionally, organ meats, for example, liver, kidney, etc., are rich in collagen. And more probably simple approaches is like, if you're taking a piece of chicken, skin on chicken is another source of collagen. So if you think about it, you've got a dietary source of it, which probably in this case would be a little bit more inconvenient to take in some cases, because let's say you are a vegetarian. Well, I've just named, 3 really big animal sources that you're not gonna take if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, right? There's a challenge here because even a lot of the hydrolyzed collagen peptides that are available are either going to be derived from animals or they're gonna be like a marine-based source. So this might be something that would be outside of the opportunity to take. But again, at the end of the day, you got to make choices, and these aren't necessarily things that you have to take. If you are a vegetarian or a vegan, this isn't something you have to take. It's just like a bonus on top of the things that you should be doing, like skincare and sun protection and in-office treatments. The typical dose that you would want to take for something like this is between 2.5 and 15 grams per day. Each one of these different powder boxes has like it's got a scooper, tells you how many grams you'd be taking per scoop, just somewhere in that range. There's also capsule forms of this and more concentrated versions of this, but it's very common to put it in your teas and your coffees and things like that and enjoy it that way. Very tasteless, easy to consume. The next big one is biotin. Biotin is vitamin B5. It is a constant in terms of knowledge and research about its impact on skin and hair and nail health, right? So definitely something that is worthwhile taking. Common sources in your diet that you could find biotin in are gonna be things like beef liver, eggs, peanuts, beans, lentils, peas, and keep in mind, there's a lot of other sources than the ones I just mentioned, but here's a situation where you have some vegetarian options and you have some non-vegetarian options. The research shows that it helps, again, support the structure and function of skin as well as hair and nails. So you'll find that very commonly used in those capacities. The typical amount that you want to take is somewhere between 30 and 100 micrograms per day, and these are typically found in capsules or tablets. Here's another one that you might find surprising, and that's vitamin C. Now, vitamin C is important because it is an essential part of collagen synthesis. It by itself has no role in basically stimulating or producing collagen by itself, but it's an important component during the collagen synthesis phase. So you definitely want to make sure you have a certain amount of vitamin C in your diet. Now, where do you get vitamin C? From your diet, you're going to get it from citrus fruits, strawberries, even some green leafy vegetables have it. Other sources are going to, very high concentrations in kiwi, as well as potatoes and even tomatoes, believe it or not. I mean, tomatoes is actually a fruit, so it makes perfect sense, but those are very common sources of vitamin C in your diet. What are the doses that you need it in? Because it's a fairly common thing. A lot of people have like orange juice or have some of these different types of things, so it's not uncommon or difficult to get it, but you just want to make sure you're getting it at the right concentrations, and the right concentration is anywhere between 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day. And this again could be found in tablet form or in your dietary. So just make sure you're getting that amount to be able to support the collagen synthesis that's going to be taking place. Now, another vitamin that plays a role in overall, skin function and health is vitamin E. Now, what are some sources for vitamin E? Basically, things like nuts and seeds, especially sunflower. It's very rich in vitamin E, avocado, almonds, spinach, broccoli. Now, what's interesting about vitamin E is it's almost essentially found in a vegetarian or vegan type of a diet. So if you're somebody who's like in a strict carnivore diet or like high protein animal meat, you're probably not going to see a lot of this in your normal, diet. So this is where you would have to kind of go outside of your normal diet and try to find it and include that into it. Now, if you don't want to get into the dietary aspects of it, of course you can supplement with it. Now, here's the deal with it. Vitamin E is an important antioxidant. So antioxidants basically reverse or protect the skin against oxidative damage, which is basically a constant part of the aging process. So if you can minimize skin aging through oxidative damage, you're going to make a big improvement in terms of keeping your skin looking healthy and wonderful. Now, again, topically, there's a lot of ingredients that are used for antioxidant function, including vitamin C, for example, which I've talked about in a past video. But ingesting vitamin E is a very, very good thing for all around body oxidative damage, and it also improves your skin. And keep in mind, everything I'm saying here improves body health as well, because skin is literally just another organ. So this is just a bonus of all these other aspects. And the daily dose you want to take here is 15 milligrams a day in either capsule or tablet form. Another one that's really, really important in the production of collagen, it's an essential, cofactor in the process, is the metal copper. Copper basically is involved in that, one of the collagen synthesis steps. And where do you find this in your diet? This is one that you don't normally think about, right? Getting copper into your diet. But where you find it is in dark leafy vegetables, kidney or liver organ meats. Shellfish is a very rich form of it. Whole grains like wheat bran cereal, and even chocolate has this, but beans is another one. So this is a lot of different sources of copper, both in terms of animal as well as vegetarian, but you definitely want to get this in your diet one way or the other because of its key role in collagen synthesis. And I always say this is because if you're taking actives, or you're going and getting a laser, a chemical peel, and there's all those things, but you're missing some of this stuff in your diet and you're not getting the collagen synthesis supported, well, what's the point of doing all those things? So this is really an important aspect to be aware of. It's an essential part of collagen as well as skin repair. So there's been some research done that showed that this was a very essential and important part of that entire process. So that's definitely worth considering. And the dosage that you want to make sure you're getting either in your diet or in the supplementation is around 2 milligrams per day. The next big one that is in the same category as copper in terms of its supportive role is zinc. Now, zinc is found in a lot of different places. It's found in different types of meat, fish, oysters, eggs, and seeds. So just be out on the lookout for where sources in your diet you can find it, and see if that includes that in your basic diet. If not, then you're going to supplement with this as well. In addition to supporting collagen synthesis, it also plays a role in the immune function of the skin barrier, which is a very, very important part of protecting the skin against the influx of bacteria and viruses into your skin. So zinc is a very important piece to include, and it also helps with inflammation of the skin as well. So it has a pivotal role in a lot of different aspects, and zinc is, I would consider it a very important part. So think about 8 to 11 milligrams per day. This can either be taken, as a tablet or a lozenge, but you want to basically get it if you're not getting enough of it in your basic diet. The next one is omega-3 fatty acids. Now, omega-3 fatty acids are things that are found in salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines. These are fish that basically have a high level of omega-3 fatty acids, and they're basically directly affected in hydration of the skin and overall inflammation of the skin. These are anti-inflammatories. What makes this very important ultimately is that the skin barrier, which is basically what the skin, is essentially not just to keep us looking youthful and beautiful, but it's also to keep everything basically unwanted inside of the body, keeping it out. So the function of the skin barrier is extremely important, and it's made up mostly of fatty acid. And omega-3 fatty acids are a big part of that. And so getting plenty of it into your diet helps support the repair functions, inflammation process, but also the overall health of the skin barrier. So in this case, if you don't get it in your normal diet, you want to look for somewhere between 250 to 1,000 milligrams of diet in either fish oil or in flaxseed oil. But omega-3 fatty acids are easy to get if you enjoy some salmon, but you want to make sure you're getting varying, numbers. And the good thing about this, and this is something to keep in mind, is when you're talking about a fat-soluble supplement like this, it can actually be potentially stored in fat for some time. So you don't necessarily have to take it every single day, but you want to make sure that you're getting these general numbers up to where they need to be. So in other words, you don't need to eat salmon every single day in order to get enough omega into your body. But if it's too complicated to do it this way, just supplement with some daily fish oil or flaxseed oil. And the last one is hyaluronic acid. Now, hyaluronic acid is a ubiquitous polysaccharide throughout our entire body. It basically, functions in our joints. It hydrates and lubricates our skin. It gives the skin that suppleness because it attracts water and improves hydration function of the skin. Now, this is what I found also interesting, is a study found that taking hyaluronic acid orally actually helped reduce fine lines and wrinkles. And I find that to be kind of in the same category of the hydrolyzed collagen peptides. I wouldn't expect it to have that effect. Now, where is hyaluronic acid normally found? It's in the same kind of category of where you would find collagen. It's going to be found in bone broths. It's going to be found in Brazil nuts, chia seeds. It's also in root vegetables like potatoes and other green leafy vegetables, and almonds. So you got a lot of different choices of where you're going to get your hyaluronic acid from. The dosage that you need to get in the hyaluronic acid, if you're going to take it, is between 120 to 240 milligrams a day. And the good news is you can also use the hyaluronic acid in topical form, in this case, which you can't in any of the other things that we just talked about, but you can take it topical, and that's probably the more common way of addressing it to your skin. And that's actually one of the ingredients that we have in the Illuminate product of the trifecta, the last step. Hyaluronic acid is very, very commonly used in skincare. It's taken up very nicely, and it has the same effect if you're using it in this way. Probably, honestly, if I were to really be critical of this, I would say I wouldn't go out of my way to try to take it orally. It should be part of a normal skincare routine. But again, if you're taking some of this stuff orally, that's bonus on top of everything else, right? All right, so let's get into some basic considerations, some tips and considerations. So number one is safety, right? So the FDA does not monitor supplements like this the way it does drugs. It does have an eye on the packaging and manufacturing and all this other stuff to some degree, but at the end of the day, nutritional supplements are kind of outside of what would be like drugs and things like that. So the FDA doesn't have a direct regulation on it the way it does some other things. However, there's a lot that you can understand and know to help you make good decisions on this as you embark on deciding which supplements to take, etc. And here are my thoughts. So number one, you have to decide whether or not you're going to use a naturally derived supplement or one that is synthetically derived. So synthetically means that it's manufactured. It's not around in nature. The natural derived means it's either taken and concentrated through a food source or something that's found in nature, and as a result, it functions basically the same way as it would if you took it through whatever you're eating. Generally speaking, and I don't want to say this as like a hard and fast rule, but when you're taking something that is found in whole foods, or if you're taking it as part of your diet, you're getting synergy between different aspects of these supplements that actually work better together. So instead of taking just, for example, like a straight vitamin C or straight zinc, etc., but if you're taking them in your food as part of your diet, it works a little bit more efficiently because that's how your body was designed to deal with it. But in general, I'd say if you have a choice, the naturally derived supplements are better in the sense that, again, it's natural, etc. Some of the downsides of naturally derived supplements is that there's variability depending on the source that they're coming from. Some batches and crops may be a little bit different, so you get variation in the actual product. They generally do cost a little bit more, and all around efficacy might be technically a little bit less potent than taking a synthetic, but I think when you look at the entire picture, it's probably still more benefit than the cons that are associated with it. And some of the notable cons when it comes to synthetics is that there's additives, there's potential even issues with side effects because they're not naturally occurring, and then there's some environmental concerns that go along with some of these products. So again, for the potential and decrease cost, maybe increase efficacy and more standardization that comes with synthetics, I would still choose the naturally derived personally. when you're choosing these, when you're going to the dietary section of your Whole Foods store and you're looking for these things, what should you be looking for? So some of the things that I would look for is certification. Make sure it's a reputable brand. Make sure it's been around a while. Look at their labeling practices. Make sure that you're seeing exactly what's going into these products so there's no surprises. And then ultimately, I would say there's always a little bit of question because these things are not FDA approved, what exactly is the impact of them. But if you do your research and you stick with this list that I suggested here, because this is really, I would say, a very safe list in general, right? There's nothing out of the box or anything too crazy here. And you stick with that, I think you'll be in good shape. And again, sometimes it's worth paying a little bit more to get something that doesn't have fillers in it. It doesn't have, added colors or different things associated with it. I think it's just all around, when it comes to your body, worthwhile to do that little extra research to make sure you're choosing the right, particular product as a supplement for yourself. Okay, that was quite a list. And I actually was quite fun for me to do some research and evaluate this once again for my own sake and for my wife's sake, who were very obviously proactive when it comes to anti-aging. My wife has been super focused on her skin. Her skin looks gorgeous at 52, really because since her 30s, she's been doing everything that we're talking about and we have been talking about on this channel between sun protection, the use of actives, trifecta, the dietary aspects, and I have been too. So it's a real part of my life. But here's the thing. So the question always comes: what would I do, and what does Netta do, my wife, do? So we have a very, very, very varied diet. Everything that I just mentioned here, pretty much every single one of them, I get on a daily basis. I mean, between bone broths and sunflower seeds and avocados, the types of foods that I eat is extremely, extremely variable, and same thing with my wife. The need to supplement some of those other aspects is not necessary for us. However, there's one supplement that I actually do take, and Netta does take as well, and that is the hydrolyzed collagen. And really, at the end of the day, the reason it is because there's, again, a handful of studies that show that there is some impact or positivity from it. And at the very least, I look at it as even if it doesn't do anything, I'm just another source of protein. And it really has no negative taste associated with it. So my routine is in the mornings, I mix that with my electrolyte drink. I do an element tea, chocolate flavored, put it in hot water, and add 2 scoops of collagen powder to it. And I take it on my morning hike. And my wife does that with her matcha green tea. So we're getting the hydrolyzed collagen powder as part of our normal routine. Everything else for us comes through diet. Now, I would say biotin I get in Nutrafol, which I use for my hair, but I think even if it wasn't, it would be in literally all the other foods that we're taking up on a regular basis. So this is an example where if you have a varied diet and you're very, very well-rounded and eating whole foods, etc., you're probably getting most of what you need. Even if you don't do hydrolyzed collagen, you're probably getting literally everything that you generally need to support skin health and anti-aging. And remember, this is just a part of the story. Think about it as you are taking care of the largest organ on your body, and there's no magic bullets here. It's usually a combination of a number of different things that are going to keep your skin from aging. And if you think about it holistically like that, you will literally defy, restore it, and resist skin aging. And this is the one thing that you actually can control. And this is the thing that actually given me a lot of joy and pleasure of helping people through this YouTube series. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you learned a lot from this. I hope you share this with some friends and family. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure that you do get more information like this, in addition to following our KaramMD Journal newsletter, which goes through a lot of topics like this, but in more depth even, and at your fingertips at your email once a week. All right, folks, if you enjoyed it, hit like, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them the best I can. That was a long and thorough conversation, and I'm gonna take a break. And until next time, see you all later.